You are listening to Unravel with Natalie Denise.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to Unravel with Natalie Denise. Can you guys hear me good? Is this good? Check, mic check 1 2, mic check 1 2. Hey guys, it's so good to be on tonight. I've got a special guest coming on, and I just wanted to prime, maybe some people who don't know what happened in Houston. This was the whole Travis Scott, situation. In Houston, there was a concert. Forgot to turn this off. There was a concert that Travis Scott organized. It was actually a festival, and what was supposed to be a fun time, what was intentional for people to go and let loose, it actually turned into a mass tragedy. Right now, I think we just don't know what the heck is going on, which is why I did put out notice for people to step forward. Do you have a testimony? What happened? What did you see? Because right now there's a media blackout going on, in the mainstream. So, with that being said, I just, I thought, okay, well, if they're not going to put out the transparency, then we're going to have to find out for ourselves. So right now, what we can do is corroborate it with, different videos that are circulated, the events. There's a lot of testimonies going on. So I'm going to bring my guest in. He's going to pop in any minute now. But basically, there's been a lot of just different conflicting things. For instance, there has been some sort of I like some form of theory about some injection. I mean, I don't even know what the heck anymore. They're trying to purport this injection theory, and yet there has been no reports of anybody getting injected by some, I don't know, unknown drug. At first, a lot of people thought that this would be fentanyl, that it would be a combination of fentanyl as well as, maybe, I don't know. Like, I don't want to make claims that I don't know, but, it is very curious what exactly this was. So listen, I don't know what to make of it, especially with the media blackout going on. You know what I mean? Let me see where are you guys listening from? Let's see. We're just going to wait for our guest here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Virginia. Hey guys. Hey, American Misfit. What up? What up? Hey mods, thank you so much to my mods coming on here to mod and to regulate and to snatch wigs in here. Hey guys, by the way, tonight we're going to do something. If something snatches your wig, we're going to do this emoji. Sophia and Rocky, if you can show them which emoji that is. If you're going to snatch a wig, it's going to be called snatch a wig. So if something snatches your wig, we're going to drop a snatch a wig emoji. So far, what we know about this whole tragedy thus far is that there are multiple people that are coming forward. There was actually some other people that outreached to me via email that they were interested in sharing their testimony. And actually, there we go. There's the snatch wig. That is the snatch wig. And actually, I'm going to try to slot them in today. There was one person who was supposed to come on tonight. Oh, perfect. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Actually, we're going to have a second person come on. I just got notified right now. Perfect. I will send you the link here at 10:10. All right. Perfect. All right. Awesome. So now we have an additional guest coming on tonight. So it should be packed. Just waiting on Ricky to jump right on. So far, what we do know about the whole tragedy is that there are a lot of conflicts. As I mentioned, there was the injection theory, and actually, you know what is actually interesting? They actually tried to do this in the UK as well. There was like some sort of report on, people being crazed and injected by, some crazed injector at nightclubs. Injections. Let me look this up. Injections while we wait for Ricky. UK nightclub. There we go. There we are. This is actually let's actually share this right now. Meanwhile, that we wait for Ricky. Let's share this. Share screen. Share. And we'll share this window right here. All right. So this is actually not anything that is it's not anything that is far apart from what they tried to do in the UK. Now, I'm not saying that this is not real. I'm not saying that this is not true, but I'm just saying this just seems very similar. And, I'm just waiting for Ricky to get on, who is one of our guests here. But, this is not far away from what we're hearing here in Houston. Needle spiking of women in Britain stirs alarm over this new kind of assault. There we go. And women are reporting being injected with syringes at a crowded nightclubs in horrifying variation of dropping pills into drinks. This is a new death, said a former police chief. Now, there is no, and nothing supporting the theory in Houston. I can tell you that for sure. But this is just something wild that I think they are trying to insinuate and trying to jump in the mix. Now we do have Ricky added to the stream, so he's in the backstage right now. We're gonna go ahead and let him in. So guys, please, before Ricky gets on, please give this video a thumbs up. If you're listening to this on podcast, please rate the podcast 5 stars. So everybody smash the like button and grab the link and go share this video with everybody you can. Facebook groups, whatever Instagram groups, Telegram groups you have. Go share this video right now. I've got Ricky in the backstage. We're about to let him on right now. So he's about to come on. So once again, guys, smash that like, smash it, and please share this stream with somebody in whatever group. All right, Ricky, let's go ahead and have him on. What's up, Ricky? How are you doing?
Hey, how you doing? I'm doing good. Just chilling for tonight.
Yeah, you had a crazy weekend, yeah?
Yeah, I did. It was pretty intense. I didn't know anybody passed away till like the morning after. So yeah. So I was like, I was on the right side of the stage. All that happened on the left side.
Okay, so that's some news. So because we really don't have any sort of transparency, so let me just introduce you guys. So Ricky actually attended the concert. He wasn't there from the very there we go, we got some proof, guys. That this is the stuff that they want to see. So Ricky, the reason why we're bringing people on to kind of corroborate some form of story is because there seems to be something weird going on in the media, it just seems to be some sort of blackout. There's not a lot of transparency. So before we let Ricky give his testimony, Ricky didn't get there until a little bit later. So Ricky, I kind of want you to, start from the beginning. You kind of got there a little later. You weren't there where there was that early, stampede when there was an entrance, right? So go ahead and give us your testimony.
I wasn't there at that time. I got there a little late because I had to work. And I was gonna meet up one of my buddies up there, but I never met up with him because there's no phone signal at all, and I couldn't text him or anything. So I went up there like a little later. I saw a lot of people. I was walking towards NRG, and I saw a lot of people being like groups of kids just like walking that way, and I thought that the concert was over because like, why is everybody walking away? The show's this way. And I felt like it was just me and like another group just walking towards NRG. And then I get to the line, and we had to like show proof of like COVID or whatever. I took a negative test. I don't have the jab or
Okay.
whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have that. But so I took a COVID test and then got a negative, and they let me through. And then there was a whole bunch of people who were trying to get in who didn't have wristbands. The security was
Interesting.
actually being overwhelmed. There was like probably about 2 out of 5 people who were trying to disappear in the back in the crowd, and they were just trying to get in. I'm like, what? Are you gonna show up with no wristband? I was like, yeah, it's kind of ghetto, but whatever.
Did you see anybody without a wristband, or was security
Yeah,
actually
no,
they did?
there were people. Yeah, there was a lot of people being turned away because they didn't have one of these. So I
Well,
was like,
I mean, in the concert, did you see anybody without or I guess it was too packed, right? You couldn't really tell if everybody had a wristband or not, right?
yeah, you could see it on their arm,
Okay.
but
Okay.
what was I gonna say? Oh, I lost my track of thought. So I'm just,
So
but
you
yeah,
have your
and
wristband, and you
uh-huh,
were coming in and people were being turned away. So
yeah.
right around the time that you got there, tell us about the atmosphere. What did you get there when Travis was already on stage, or did you get there a little before?
I got there when Lil Baby was playing. That was
Okay.
about I think 5 or 6, and so I got there and I was walking towards the stage, and it was chill. I mean, I saw a whole bunch of. It was a really young crowd. I saw like strollers. I saw like little kids. I saw a kid on people's shoulders with like no earmuffs and stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, the music's really loud, and not, as as an uncle, I know like that kids could go deaf and stuff. But
Mhm.
I saw that, and then I was walking towards little baby, and then because all the concerts, there's 2 stages, right?
Right.
So there was this. I made a little map. So I don't know
Okay.
if y'all see that. Um,
Now we can. Yeah, yeah.
all, yeah, all the previous artists were playing just on this stage. Nobody was playing on this stage. This is the
Ah.
stage Travis Scott was on. So
Okay.
yeah, uh, I saw Little Baby and SZA right over here,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I got to this point, and it was pretty chill. I liked it. I was having
Mhm.
fun. But then when you go over here,
Yeah.
I walked over here. You had to go through kind of like a little funnel, and then you get to this stage over here,
Right.
and I could see why. So when wh- I left SZA early,
Yeah.
and I went to go try to get a good spot for Travis. So I went and sorry,
It's okay.
I don't
It's
know.
okay. Take your time.
Yeah. So I went. So I left over here, and then I
Uh-huh.
walked, and there was already people here, and this is like people. People were. It was already packed up to here, and before I says it even ended. So I
Yeah.
went around this way,
Yeah.
and then I went to this side on
Okay.
the right side. But I could see why, because I went like back in 2019,
Yes.
and I was on this side, and it was really really compressed. Like I couldn't breathe. Like in 2019, I had to get out. I was in the front row, so I had to
Yeah.
march back, and it got to the point where like I had my hands up, and I couldn't bring him down because we're shoulder to shoulder, chest to back to chest, and
Right.
like I
And
couldn't
this
move.
was 2019, or this
Yeah,
concert?
2019. This was
In 2019. Okay.
the previous
So
one. Yeah.
let me ask you, because that's actually an interesting map. I think the only map that I've seen of the concert was featured on the Daily Mail, where it just shared like a generic graphic, and I never would have imagined it. Honestly, like your map makes a lot more sense than anything else I've ever seen, because I don't even think that anybody's published like a map of the area besides
Mhm.
like, that's what I mean. There's just such a blackout on media. But that little funnel thing, if you would show that map again,
Oh,
that funnel thing that you showed there, what was that made of? Was it fencing? Was it?
yeah, there's fences here,
Yeah.
and then it just led to there's like a tree line here,
Yeah, yeah.
and then people were going in here. And what happened was, okay, so SZA ended late,
Yeah.
and I was already over here, and I couldn't even get closer because it was people were still trying to push, and this was about like 8:30, like 8:45 or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So people were trying to push, and they could not get in. Like I was trying to push. There was like a huge, like 6'7" guy trying to push, and he's like, ah man, nah. He's like, come on, quit being a wuss or whatever. He's like, you
Right.
got no heart. And then he was trying to tell his buddies, and then he couldn't get in, and his buddies were like, ah man, yeah, I can't get in. So
Yeah.
anyways, I was chilling here, and then SZA ended.
Hold
So
it
you
a
had
little
this.
bit because it's cut out the front.
Oh
There you
yeah, yeah.
go. There you go. There you go.
So yeah, SZA ended.
Uh-huh.
So everybody from SZA moved over here, and then to this side, though, because they wanted to be closer to the stage. Nobody
Yes.
wanted to move to the other side. That So you had everybody pushing over here, trying to get in, trying to see Travis, and then when the barricades, they're so small,
Mm-hmm.
there's no way to go back. So essentially, you have all this crowd pushing this way.
Right.
These people right here are getting smushed because the
I see.
barricades are right here.
Yeah.
And like, say you were in this corner,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, there's nowhere to go. So you're getting smushed and suffocated. And I think that's what happened. And when Travis, when it started,
Mm-hmm.
like the Phoenix is like
Yes.
lighting up, and
Mm-hmm.
you hear, oh well, before it started, I it wasn't even music. We were waiting there, and
Yeah.
it was like I don't know if you watch Blade or whatever. That's the way I think of it. Like it's kind of sounded like the Blade theme.
Oh, was
Like
it the new Blade?
no, not the like the
The
first one,
the
when the
classic?
bloodbath or
Okay.
whatever. Like
I
then
think I know what sound you're talking about though. It was just like
yeah, it
and
sounded
that
like that, but it didn't have a beat. It was like like dun, dun, dun.
actually,
I don't
you know
know.
what? Let me see if I actually have
Yeah, see if you can find it.
So I moved to my computer, like fix it. Yeah, this guy does it. And then basically, on my computer, I just couldn't beat the queue.
was it
I
something
was
like
trying
that?
to like make it like into a song, like make it like different.
Yeah.
Like I was trying to talk to people too, just to like conversate because I was bored. And
Yeah.
anyways, but yeah, I did hear that. I thought it was weird, and I actually there was a girl in the tree. She climbed the tree,
Okay.
and she had like the view of everything. Actually found her Instagram. Yeah, I'll tag her in my story or whatever. But she had like the best view. You could see the right side and then the left side. And but yeah, so we're over here. I was right here,
Yes. Yes.
and when the Phoenix popped up and all that stuff, and like when he came out his first song, I went
Yes.
from here to here in
Okay.
like a matter of seconds. I traveled like I think 20 feet because the crowd just like took me, and I ended
Right.
up being in the middle. I was like, whoa, where'd all this space come from? So I guess everybody just rushed in.
Mhm.
I'm like, what the heck? And then people started forming those mosh pits. So
Yes.
I saw like at least like 3 mosh pits on the right side,
Hmm.
and I could see like it compressing the crowd even more because people are getting squished on the sides, and I don't know. That's probably what happened.
So
But
that beat that you were talking about, like, was it anything like the previous concert? Like, did they play that beat in the 2019 concert, or is that anything that you've ever heard before?
no, they didn't. Before it was they had multiple performers at the same time, so
Yes.
it wasn't the whole crowd wasn't just all in one stage. So you had like I I think Marilyn Manson was playing at the other stage
Marilyn
while
Manson.
I was waiting for Travis,
Uh-huh.
and a lot of people wanted to go see him. That was back in 2019, and all you
Oh, back
saw
in
was
2019. Okay.
all you saw was a broadcast of him playing while everybody else was waiting. Nobody, there wasn't any weird music or anything like that.
So what makes me wonder is why people were so, I don't know. I don't know if it was a combination of people having gone out a lot, over the past year, or, it just seemed like people were so callous, and I don't know if that's what's been built over the past year. I guess that could be a different conversation, but you was Travis at any point inciting the crowd to act that way? Because it went from the very beginning where people were entering the concert or the festival, and people were dogpiling each on top of each other. So I think that was kind of a prelude to the night, because people weren't really caring about other people. They just wanted to get in. What was the atmosphere as far as the people there? Like, was it that much more different from 2019, or would you say people were more aggressive?
I would say people were a little bit more aggressive. It was a very tense atmosphere.
Yeah.
Like people, like back in 2019, I was talking to people but um and just having a good time. Everybody was helping each other up with the mosh pits. But this time around, it was just like everyone was kind of in it for themselves, and it was just such a younger crowd that they didn't. I don't know. It's just like I felt like they didn't have any empathy or like compassion, I guess. Like
Right.
they would do stupid stuff. Like I was gonna say
Right.
that's word, but I don't know if I could curse on your podcast. But trying
Yeah,
to
you
watch
can.
it.
So let's
Oh yeah.
actually fast forward a little bit. Let's fast forward a little bit to the tragic events. Like, at what point did everything just escalate? And what were some things that you saw around the atmosphere? We saw circulated videos, and I'm actually going to pull up, some of these here. But we saw some of these videos where people were just on the ground. People looked like they just kind of gave out. Let me see if I can pull this one right here. For instance, we've got this one right here where you just see people kind of laid out, people on the floor just kind of dropping. What
Mhm.
point did you realize that this was happening?
Sorry. So at what point did it feel like I was
Did you
like it
realize that
was
people, yeah, like it was very chaotic, and that people were dropping to the floor? Like, did you witness any of that?
no, I didn't. I personally didn't witness anybody drop
Okay.
because, like I said, that all that stuff happened on the left side. I was on the right side, um, but I didn't see anybody fall or anything like that or collapse.
Did you
I
see
did see
any
the ambulance
emergency?
trying to go through the crowd,
There you go. Okay.
but and nobody would let the ambulance in. And people, they want to say it was like, oh well, there's no room to go. There was no room to go. But I'm like, bro, if you could open up mosh pits, you could make way for the ambulance. And people were just climbing on it and just being really ridiculous.
Okay. And so talk about like your experience, at one point did he finish the entire concert? Did you stay throughout the entire concert? And
I
was
left
there
early.
you left early. Okay. Okay.
I left
So,
around like 15 minutes before it ended.
okay. Okay. So what do you make about this media blackout where, based on your experience, you being there, we're just not getting the transparency. How do you view it in your eyes? Like, being there, kind of sensing the chaos. Actually, before we get into the media, actually, that's a really good point to get into. How is the atmosphere? Because you see a lot of these testimonies coming up now that are saying, it felt very dark, very demonic. Did you get any of those type of feelings?
Um, I want to say like I probably should have felt something, but I really didn't, or either I
Okay.
was ignoring it or something. 'Cause I'm very like
Mhm.
very spiritual person, and like I go to sleep with like those like 528 hertz songs and stuff. Like that stuff puts me to sleep, but I didn't really feel anything like that. But I did see the visuals, and it was
Yes.
yeah, it was very demonic. But I did avoid it, and I was just ignoring it. Um, but yeah, the I didn't. It wasn't like that. I don't know.
Okay, so talk about the visuals a little bit because I have a lot of people that, I think that is what's piquing everybody's interest. There was like a mountain type of, I don't know, hellish theme. Like it described the visuals and, the kind of transitions that went with it. Was that any bit of creepy to you?
It was. It was. At one point there was like I don't know. It was like green men walking on a canyon or something. Like three guys, and I was like, what
Hmm.
the? It was just so off. And then I don't know, it was weird. And then there was another one where it was like the flame, like the fire pit. That was pretty creepy. And what else? And I don't know. The other ones were just like galaxies and stuff. But yeah, I wasn't really paying much attention. I was just kind of, trying to like because the crowd kept knocking me around. Oh, and when I have another thing to say.
Sure.
Um when he was doing that when you see that clip of him singing to that lifeless unconscious person,
Yeah.
and he's seeing it directly under him,
Hmm. Hmm.
he's like, oh yeah,
Right. He's humming. Hmm.
yeah, yeah. He did that for like about 10 minutes, and I thought it was kind of weird. It
Hmm.
was off. Like I don't know, he didn't go to the next song for a minute, so I guess he was trying to prolong it or
Yeah.
whatever, but I don't know.
So that clip is actually for those of you that don't know what clip he's talking about. I'll actually pull it up right now, but it's basically it's the one that's really going. There we go. Let's share this right here. So I think the bass on that too, like it's just, I mean, it could be just very close, but I just want to also caveat that video, and I probably should have done it before, but there is some video circulating around the internet that does show that he says, "Whoa, whoa, go tend to that person" before he actually hums. Did you see that he actually stopped singing
Yeah, he did that like once, and that
once?
was it. And then he's like, people kept complaining, I guess, and then he's like, y'all know what y'all came here for, and then he starts up with the next song, I'm like, okay. And then people kept forming mosh pits, and I'm like, dude, chill. I'm tired. I couldn't do it anymore. So I ended up leaving early.
Okay, so it got a little bit too chaotic for you,
Mm,
the energy and maybe the hype of the atmosphere. But that makes me very interested that you know he only stopped once, and I think like I said, there was one clip of this very thing that I just showed you guys, and he says hold on, and people are trying to make it way as if well, the mainstream media is trying to twist this, like they're trying to demonize Travis Scott, they're trying to make this into something bigger than it really is. But you're saying that he actually very seldomly stopped throughout the concert, like he didn't stop too many times, or is that what you
yeah.
remember?
He didn't stop a lot, and he told everybody to raise their hands in the air to see if you're okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, how are you gonna how are you gonna tell, like, if people can't even raise their hands because it was just so tight at
Right.
some point. I
Did,
saw, like, there's like really small, like probably like a 4'10" girl,
mhm.
and she was getting smothered, and I had to make room for her, and and she was with her friend, so I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, they were having a good time, but yeah, it was just, I don't know, it was crazy, but I think that's literally what happened. People were just the way the stage was designed. It was
Mhm.
that left side. It was just, there's no room to go, and they shouldn't have put barricades there, to
Can
be
you hold up
honest.
your map again?
Oh
Because
yeah.
I mean, that's very insightful, and I don't think a lot of people realize what this constructed. There we go. Okay, a little bit.
Yeah.
Zoom it in a little bit. Pull it in towards you, so
Oh,
it'll zoom. There you go. Okay. So for those of you that are joining, that map that Ricky is holding up is a drawn map of the entire thing. Kind of shift it a little bit so we can see or pull it towards you. There we
oh,
go. Okay. So the part on the left side was a side stage. That's where all the other artists were performing, and then apparently these little U shapes, the upside down U shape and the regular U shape. This was like I'm sorry, an alley where it was like fence barricades, and that you say, Ricky, like what was on the other side of those fencing? Was it just other parking lot? Was it
no, it was just like a fence. It was just like a fence, and no security that was
okay?
in front of the fence, and then people started swarming in here,
Yeah.
and nobody wanted to go around. So you had this whole side full, and there's no way for people to go back or forward, while you had this whole other crowd pushing in.
Uh-huh.
So the people were trapped right here.
And there was actually that stage was actually like it was shaped like an inverted cross. So there should be like another little stick right at the very
Yeah,
end.
the it should be
Yes.
like in here, the inverted cross. I forgot that. So
Was
yeah,
that a VIP area?
yeah. So it was a VIP area, and it was same things, very small.
Uh-huh.
So I guess I did draw the VIP area here. It was like that. It was very small. But yeah, it was. I heard the stories of like the VIP people. They're bitching at that one little kid trying to save people, trying to drag people out.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And then I was like, man, that's pretty messed up. But I could see how that happened. People, it was so hard to pull people out, and because it was so crowded, and just the pressure and everything. Like like in 2019, I was in a situation like that, and I'm kind of short. I'm like 5'8", but
Mhm.
I could you have to put your head up just to breathe, like gasp for air
Right.
when you're in that situation. And I had to put my forearms like this
Yeah.
to cover my chest so I'll be able to breathe. And
Right,
it
right.
was just like this. I was not having a good time. So I
Were
had
you
to,
ever in the crowd within that surge where people were gridlocked and couldn't move?
I was like that in 2019. So I know exactly what they're talking about.
But
And I had to follow,
not
I
this
don't know
time,
what,
right?
I had to follow like a little Congo line.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know if you know what a Congo line is, but it's like when someone starts pushing out, another person follows that person, another person, and then
Yes.
you
Mhm,
just
mhm, mhm.
follow the same, and then it's just like a line of people trying to get out. And I saw someone exiting, so I just took it and I got to the middle. I was like, oh, okay. So I was safe. I mean, I've been to many festivals, but none of them were like this crazy. I've
So,
been to like,
actually, you sent me a video of a fight that occurred there at the festival.
yeah.
What exactly happened within that fight? I mean, what was happening? Because I think that video actually did get circulated. I didn't post it because it just seemed like some dumb, it happens at every concert where people fight,
hmm
right? But explain what happened in that scene.
I guess a group of kids were egging on this kid to throw a water bottle at him, or like a I guess like a can or something, and it hit someone's head. And the kid was just, he's like, man, I guess he was gonna try to shrug it off, but that other kid, started taking his chain off and everything. He started inciting a fight, and then he ended up the other kid was like, "Oh, you want to fight?" And then he ended up taking his shirt off and knocking that little kid out. It was, I don't know, it was like karma, I guess, you know. But yeah, it was crazy. It's like, because like I said, those water bottles were being thrown, cans were being thrown, balls, pretty much anything. They were just being thrown at in the crowd, and people were
Uh-huh.
getting hit by it.
So at what point did you yourself see the surge? Because you were on a different side of the stage, right? That's what I heard.
hmm I guess I was kind of in it, but because I went like I said, I was I was right here by this tree, and then
Uh-huh.
I went over here in
Mhm.
like probably in like 20 seconds,
Right.
and then because the crowd just got, everybody started pushing forward, and I got in it, and the crowd took me, and I was just no way of going back. So
Right.
I was just stuck there.
So at what point there was room, right? You found room, but so
Yeah.
there were just sections of surges.
hmm
There
Yeah.
was
And then people
actually
were just like, you just have to
gridlocked.
go with the crowd.
Was there plastic on the ground at any point?
There was actually, like, hey, this is the thing, like, what I don't get, how people could get trampled,
Right.
because I noticed when I step on people's shoes, I noticed when the floor, it was a whole wooden floor, from my understanding, because
Mhm.
they built it over the mud, but there were
Okay.
some parts where it just wasn't covered, or there were holes.
I see. Okay. Okay. That's
So I was,
starting to make a little bit more sense. So was it plastic over like the ground or the dirt?
yeah, it was like wood, like a wood frame over the ground, over mud. So
Right.
people were, and all the jumping, I guess, yeah, it did probably make holes. But
Okay, that's going to start to make sense now. That's going to start to make sense. So there was a man-made wood floor that
yeah,
they just like planks.
hmm
What did this wood look like?
I didn't see it.
You didn't.
It was the crowd. Everybody was on it, so I couldn't see it, any of the floor.
Okay.
But I felt it, like, um, yeah, you could tell between a wooden surface and like mud and dirt, and I don't know. I could see how people would like twist or break their ankles if they step in that hole, like in a mud while jumping.
Right. Okay. Because there are some testimonies out there that claim that that when they were within the surge, or they were within the heaviness of the crowd, that there was plastic on the ground. So
Hmm.
I'm just wondering, if that was some sort of like makeshift, I don't know,
It
like
was
some
it was
makeshift.
man-made because last time I went, it was all grass and mud.
So that could have maybe felt like a sinkhole of some form, right?
Yeah, yeah, I could see that. On
Where
some
people
parts, it
maybe.
probably wasn't covered.
Okay. Okay. So this is the information that I'm kind of looking for, because again, there's not a lot of transparency as to like the actual the intricate parts of the concert, what was that, the material at the bottom. So, I also wanted to do this podcast to, kind of get that detail out, because I know a lot of people are going out about their ideas about, that this was definitely something, but we also want to make sense of everything with good detail. If you don't mind, really quick, I'm going to add Angel to the stream. He was also a concert goer, and let's see if he will add any detail. But before I do, he just dropped right now. Maybe he'll rejoin. Okay, so there's another concert goer who's going to join us as well. But I'm trying to make sense of all this, because again, everything's just weird. How there's a media blackout, that nobody's talking about this, right? But then they're also going to clean it up the next day. And I don't know what the proper protocols for something of a mass casualty like this is, but I would think that there would be some form of detail about like how this was set up, what exactly could have caused the failure in holding so many people. So I'm just trying to get as descriptive as possible when we're trying to describe. And definitely that map helps out a lot, because it helps us imagine how people were sort of funneled and bottlenecked everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't buy the whole injecting people. Like, people are getting injected
Good point.
with stuff, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't buy that. I don't even buy that it's just 8 people. Like, I've been hearing like reports it's like 12. And then there's this kid who was helping like 9 people out, and I'm like, what? There was really that much people who were passed out? And I'm like, "Dang, that's crazy." Like, they like when I guess when people get their chest compressed, they're not able to work their diaphragm, I guess, and they can't breathe. And I guess that probably leads them to being unconscious.
So
But
yeah, that's very puzzling that there was eight, just eight, because it fluctuated in the headlines. It was eight, and then I saw 11, went
yeah,
down to
I saw
eight,
17 at one
saw
point. I'm like,
17.
yeah. So I don't know.
I mean, that's just very, very puzzling. But also, to on the other side, you would think that there would be more people coming forward, like, yo, my person was part of that tragedy, like that I have a fatality in my family because of that concert. You would think there would be more people coming out like that. Or
Coming forward, right? Yeah.
well, do
Like,
you
I
know
mean,
anybody personally, like people who died at the concert, or like
mm-mm.
friends of friends?
No, I didn't. But my buddy, that the one that I was supposed to meet up with,
Yes.
he was actually on the left side, but he was by like the tree lines. He was over here, so he had space to move around, while all these other people they didn't. So he said he didn't know either that people were collapsing, and he just found out the day after. So I don't know.
I mean, everything is just, it's so puzzling that, to this day, that's still the narrative. But yet 300, over 300 people were injured. This was admitted by Lina Hidalgo, who is
Yeah, it
the
was.
Harris County judge. So that part doesn't make sense to me. How is it that over 300 people were injured, severely injured, apparently,
Hmm.
but only 8 out of 50,000 people? The ratio to me just doesn't add up.
Yeah, it had to be a lot, probably a lot more. I don't know. Like 300 people is a lot. Like I don't even what's considered an injury, like a broken finger or like a broken leg, broken ankle,
Right,
broken arm.
right.
It
Well,
could be a range of things.
and also, to that point, that there are, of course, these nurses are not going to want to come forward because, of course, there's so much going on to, persecute the medical fields right now. But for instance, we have one of these testimonies that an ER nurse just spoke to an ER nurse who was working last night. She says the news is lying. Her ER alone had 12 kids in their 20s die of cardiac arrest, and numerous other calls going into other ERs with the same issue. Now, also, this is a call out to my followers and my viewers here. If you guys know anybody who works in the medical field, or did work that night and did receive these type of patients, they are more than welcome to come on to Unravel out of anonymity and speak, because right now their testimony is probably the most important because they're treating these injuries or these fatalities. But there are several of these accounts that came in my DMs. Hey, they don't want to be identified. They want us to delete these screenshots. Some people shared screenshots of their conversations, texts, and I guess out of just the sake of anonymity, they didn't want their business out there. But there's cases like this where people are saying, hey, look, ER people are saying that these kids, young kids, are dying of cardiac arrest.
Hmm.
And you said you yourself didn't see anybody, right?
No, ma'am.
No.
I
Okay.
didn't see anybody.
Okay. I'm going to bring on Angel. Ricky, you're more than welcome to stay. If you want to chime in, I'm going to bring in Angel for a little bit to focus on his testimony.
Yeah, I'll stay for a little. Yeah, I'll
Okay.
chill.
Perfect. All right. Awesome. Okay, let's do Angel. Angel, how are you doing?
I'm good. Good. How are you? How are you doing, Ricky?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good.
Angel, thank you so much for coming on in such short notice. We're definitely trying to make some form of, I don't know, just trying to figure this all out, because as I was explaining to Ricky, we really don't have a lot of answers, information. It seems like the media is kind of just sharing a little bit, kind of trickling these details. And so, I'm trying as best as possible to corroborate anything, what exactly could be happening. So Angel, with that being said, go ahead and give your testimony. Where were you that day at AstroWorld, and what was, just give us, you can start at any point.
Okay. So I actually did, I just got off the plane right now, and I'm in Chicago. So, I literally just got picked up and I'm back home. So me and my friend, we actually got a hotel it was actually called Astro Inn, and we can actually
Interesting.
see, the Ferris. Yeah, we could see the Ferris wheel from our
Yeah.
hotel room. When they had it on the night before, we could see that it was on. So we were really, really, really close. So the night before, we saw that. I mean, I had people that I knew that were there waiting maybe 5, 6 a.m. in the morning, just to get in as early as they could. And then I remember waking up the next morning. We were going to maybe head in around 12 o'clock. Walked out my hotel room. It was jam packed, car to car down miles and miles down the place. Luckily, we were able to just, walk in there. But I was just thinking, like, I've been to multiple festivals, concerts. This isn't something new, but I was like, this is a new atmosphere. This is crazy. People are people are doing their thing. And as me and her are walking, you know, to the it's inside the festival, she actually went in 2019. This was actually my first year, and she was telling me they really upped, you know, they raised up the security. They didn't have this many
Yeah,
fences.
there's
The
a lot more
fences,
cops there.
there was a lot more cops. They were making you go through barrier after barrier. They were asking for your wristband. You know, where's your wristband? Let me see your wristband. So there was a lot of stuff, you know. At
Right.
that part, I was like, okay, you know, I know people are still going to try and sneak in, but it probably won't be as bad. We were actually, so we got in and we went straight to the merchandise store, the merch store. They actually had closed the one that was right in front, saying that people were just rushing it, the barriers being broken down. They were even trying to let people in early to, you know, maybe
Sure.
minimize the mayhem, excuse me.
Yes.
And as soon as we walk in, the police was like, yeah, no, we've been tasing people. We've been telling people that, you know, we're shutting the store down until people learn how to behave. So that right there was my first sign of like, this is going to be insane. And so afterwards, we actually went to another merchandise store that was down on the other side of the festival grounds. And that line was, again, all the way down. So we ended up waiting about 5.5 hours for merchandise.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of security at the, you know, within the entrance, right? Within the entrance journey of the fest.
Yes.
Okay. So were you there when there was that famous stampede where people were like trampling to get in, like during the daytime? You know that famous.
I was actually, yeah, but I'm actually a part of the Travis Scott Reddit. I'm part of the AstroWorld Festival Reddit. I'm part of like the 2 Discords. You know, I had people that were there, so I knew I had, you know, inside information. I actually heard about a woman that's around 9 a.m. people were pushing down. I don't know if you saw the infamous video. You know, people were pushing down. There's people stuck under the barrier. I know a lady had broken both of her legs during that time. And it was only 9 a.m. You know, the festival doors weren't even technically open.
That was just 9 a.m. and there was already broken.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So see, look, this is the thing, Angel. There's not a lot of media coverage going on right now. By the way, guys, for those of you in the chat, please smash that like. Get the community, the YouTube community, get it up and going so that way people know about this stream. So smash that like button if you have not already, as well as grab that link and share it to your groups, whether it be your Facebook groups, your Discords, your Telegram chats, whatever it is. Take a little moment and help the stream out right now so people can get word of this experience. So Angel, 9:00 a.m. already, we already have somebody with broken. See, this is the type of stuff that we're not hearing in the media. You know, we're not hearing a lot of these stories about like at 9 a.m. there was already somebody with, you know, broken bones and, you know, people already snatching wigs, you know. So you were there from the very beginning, obviously way before the artists were performing, correct?
Correct. Yeah, I don't think the first act was about until 1 p.m. I believe that was Metro Booming. But he ended up, I don't know what had happened, but he ended up not performing. He actually got moved down to a different time. So, of course, people were causing, you know, upset about that. People were expecting to see him. And I remember I was waiting in line for the merchandise, and people were saying that, like, you know, people are kind of getting upset, but people are already, you know, opening mosh pits. They're being rowdy in the crowd, even when nobody was performing. So that alone, I was like, that's, you know, insane.
Yeah. I'm sorry, go ahead.
And so I remember, again, my main goal was that day specifically was to get merchandise, hopefully see Don Toliver, maybe Lil Baby, and then get in a little bit earlier to see Travis to get a pretty good spot for Travis. Sure. And I remember, again, I got in the line for merchandise around 12:15. I didn't end up getting out till about 5:30. Even then, people aren't even talking about that security. There was maybe, for the amount of people that was waiting in line for merchandise, I saw maybe 4 people max for security handling that.
Wow.
And when I tell you there was hundreds, even thousands of people waiting. There was hundreds and thousands.
That's insanity. Okay, so people are already rowdy. There wasn't anybody performing yet. So talk about that, because, obviously there have been many people that have gone to concerts before. Myself been to a plethora of rock concerts before, some of the rowdiest, but this crowd, for whatever reason, just seems to be very different. Like, people were very callous. People were not really, they weren't really looking out for people, I guess you could say. Talk about the energy, like the energy once you got there, the energy of the crowd. Was it just very hype? Did you sense that it was because people had been, like, cooped up for a long time? Like, talk about the energy of the crowd.
Yeah, so that was definitely another factor. Even when I was waiting in that merchandise line while Don Toliver was playing, I had to unfortunately miss the sets. But I had people that were coming back, maybe talking to their friends that were waiting in the merchandise line, saying that his set was very, very, insane. People were passing out with the minutes of his set starting. And Don Toliver, isn't even, the closing act. He's not the main act. So for people to be trampling on each other, people were saying that it wasn't even fun. They were just kind of getting squished together. They were getting trampled. They were, getting pushed up against the barricade. So for someone from that early on, that day to be performing, for the crowd to be that chaotic already, was kind of giving me a sign of, like, wow, this is very, this is different. I've never been in Houston before this, so I thought maybe that's just how Houston crowds are. But it was definitely, eye-opening. I was like, wow, that's very insane.
Yeah. I mean, Houston. I am from Houston. I'm in Houston right now, and our crowds are. Yeah, we could be a little bit. Rowdy and raunchy. But to that, I've also been to a lot of concerts in Houston, because this is where I live, and it's always, if you're in trouble, there is always somebody who's gonna fight your way for you to get out that situation. So
yeah.
So let's actually talk about, because we're in the prelude before Travis Scott performers. There was a lot of talk about this sort of beat before the concert, this humming or this weird frequency. Did you hear that? Was it weird?
Yeah, I did. It was sort of it was very kind of like a hallucinating music. It was kind of, very scary. It was just kind of like a hum, like very different types of frequencies. And another thing that I can point out for that, that wasn't the only time that I've been to a Travis concert, and he's had that type of music playing. Back in his 2018 tour, he was playing that type of music, that type of frequency, just high end, kind of gives you that eerie feeling almost.
It was eerie. So I'm not sure if you're going to be able to hear this. Let me know. Give me a nod if you can hear it. But this was just one clip that was being circulated. I don't know if this is what you heard, or if you heard something different. I'm going to play it. Just give me a nod if you can hear it.
So I moved my computer, like a fix it. Yeah, this schedule was set. And then basically, on my computer, I just couldn't be the queue.
So was it something like that?
Yeah, definitely. Just that boom, 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 boom type of, energy. And I was like, I know I'm not the only one that's seeing this and thinking this is kind of intense.
Yeah. Okay. So there was this very different, and you know what? I've seen different testimonies. I think, I think you probably seen his too. Diablo, like Santiago, it has been, going viral with his testimony. He was the dude who was like, this is demonic. This felt very demonic. I caught him in one of his lives on Instagram, and he was talking about this sort of like weird, from the very beginning, this sort of beat. So You went through the prelude, the very beginning. Now let's talk about, you know, the start of the performance. I saw on Ricky, he had a sort of, he self-drawn a map. And so we saw where there was a side stage on the very left, what seemed to be, and then there was like an alleyway with fencing, and then there was the Travis main stage on the right side, right? So there was like two different
Yeah.
parts, concert parts. So did you see any side stage concerts? Any other artists?
So I went to go see Lil Baby. I did
Okay.
see his performance, and then afterwards, again, I wasn't really a big fan of the next act, so I told my friend, let's get in a little bit earlier so we can get a good spot for Travis.
Cool. Okay.
And so we actually ended up on the right side of where the performance was, because we had the idea that once the final act was ending on the other side, was because where the other stage was on the left side, we knew that once that stage or that act had finished, that everybody was going to pile on from that other side. So we've been to concerts, we know how people are, so we're going to say, let's go on the right side, so where it's going to be a little bit less rowdy, but we're still going to get, you know, that high, because I love being, you know, in those mosh pits. I love being, you know, high energy and everything like that. I don't want to just stand around. So I was like, okay, let's get in a better spot so I can still see him, I can still, you know, be in the mosh pits and everything like that. So then we ended up going, I believe we were in there, like inside, waiting for Travis at about 7 o'clock. Yeah.
Okay.
7 o'clock. And
all right.
so,
go ahead. Well, actually, right there, let me actually ask you right now that you're in this scene right here. So I was actually talking to Ricky about this, trying to kind of extract some information about the, you know, the surroundings. The floor, did you see the flooring? Was it made out of, like, did they do a man-made like wood plank type of situation with plastic?
It was like, yeah, it was like a gray plastic. It was like a gray plastic type of wooding. It was, yeah.
Was it covering the dirt? Like, was it laid right on top of the dirt?
Some parts it was, but you would have to get, because my friend and I, we actually got a really, really close to the railing towards the end of it. But once we started walking, you know, we were just slowly walking in. There was still dirt patches, just grass and everything like that. But once we started to get a little bit more in, that's when we saw just, you know, those gray plastic flooring.
Okay. All right. So now that we got that cleared out, what happened next? So you're waiting for Travis Scott, and did you say that you were pretty close to the stage? Where were you? You said you're on the right side. Sorry if I missed that.
Yeah, so I believe there was, you know, like a huge tent, you know, we're behind, you know, where I remember someone mentioned that, you know, Travis's parents are there. You know, they had a really good view where all the sound system, all that stuff was at. We were a little bit in front, and I know if we had maybe pushed our way up there, we would have been right on the railing. So I was like in the middle of the back right area.
Okay, back right area. All right. So let's talk about the more intensifying moments. You know, I think we can pretty much fast forward. You know, Travis Scott gets on stage. Or maybe if there was a little moment right before it, but talk about that. When did it start intensifying from your observations?
So there was 2 different times that I noticed when it was kind of getting a lot more. People were pushing more. People were becoming a lot more rowdy. Right around when that last set had ended, because I believe somebody else performed after that. I'm not 100% sure. Once I noticed that nobody else was playing on the other stage, I noticed that we were kind of getting pushed a little bit more. We were getting moved forward. More people were trying to sneak over and everything like that.
Yeah.
And there was actually a group of people that were right in front of me that were sitting down, because I don't think people were trying to, you know, they maybe have waited there for a couple of hours. They didn't want to get pushed out of their way. They didn't want to get trampled on. So they sat down. So it was a whole group of us sitting down, so we wouldn't get pushed over. But, you know, we noticed that people were I kind of felt my back being pushed a lot more like that forward. People were trying to get inwards. And then once that 30-minute timer he had on, That's when people were like, oh, he's coming out soon. We know exactly when to expect him. We know exactly when he's
Got
going to be
it.
coming out. This is how much time we have to get a good spot. And then after that, I remember as the minutes, went ticking down and everything, again, I could just feel more people. I could feel the energy. Everybody had the excitement coming out. And then I want to say within when the minute mark had hit, that was definitely another time where people were pushing a lot more. People were kind of getting into my space and everything. And I was like, okay, it's starting now. And then once those final, 5 seconds came down, everybody had their phones out. Myself had my phone out. And you could just.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, we're losing Angel. Angel? Uh-oh. Hey, Angel, if you're speaking, we can't hear you. We're going to wait for you to jump back on. He was getting to the good part, too. Ironic you lose signal of an angel. Uh-oh. All right. Let's see. Angel, if you're there, we lost you. So let's wait. He was getting to some good parts. Oh. Hey, we lost you. Here is the link to come back. All right, guys. So we're going to try to get Angel back on. He was really getting there we go. Here we go. Okay, good.
All right, I'm back. I don't know what happened, but I'm back
It's
now.
okay. You were getting to like the best part and it went, psh, I was like, wait,
yeah,
something out there, right? Okay, so if you will remember the last thing that you said and you can continue on from there.
I believe it was like we were counting down like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yes.
Everybody had their phone out. Everybody was, getting excited to, see Travis come out. And then once that timer hit 0, I remember just getting pushed on again, getting pushed over again. So I kind of had to, put some elbows back, not intentionally maybe hitting somebody in the face, but I kind of,
right.
push people back so I could breathe, myself and my friend could breathe properly. And then once, the anticipation was, rising and everything. And once he came out, it was just a whole different like sense of energy, a whole different feel. It felt like I've never been to a concert before. I was getting pushed around. I was still trying to stand my ground.
Yeah.
But, even before, I forgot to mention, even before, like when there was like a couple of minutes left on the clock, I remember a lot of people actually trying to get past me to leave the crowd. A bunch of groups of people trying to leave the crowd before he had even came on.
When you say leave the crowd, you mean like go towards the back where it was more space? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
like more towards the back, because where we were at, we were kind of, shoulder to shoulder. It wasn't, yet people were on top of each other, but it was still, really tight squeeze.
Right.
But yeah, people were leaving minutes before he was even coming out.
Interesting. Okay. So did you get caught up in the gridlock where you were having trouble breathing like everybody claims?
There was definitely a time, because I believe like the big one where everything had happened it was actually where the ambulance was at. And that was in the top right of I was able to see the ambulance and I was like, that's crazy. But it didn't really mean much to me. I was just thinking, oh, it's just another Travis show. People are passing out. People are, but I was like, a whole ambulance in there. That's kind of insane. And I don't know if you saw that video where there was a girl on the cameraman, trying to get the cameraman to stop the stage.
Yes.
There was actually a second person. There was a guy in a white shirt trying to climb up the stairs as well.
Yes.
I actually saw him come towards the cameraman. And again, I thought he was just trying to get out. He had some people with him. He was kind of being a little bit more aggressive, but again, maybe he was just again having a hard time breathing. So I was like, are you okay? Do you need some help? He's like, yeah, I need to go talk to somebody right now. And it didn't nothing. It didn't think. I didn't think much of it. I was like, maybe he just
Right.
wants to go find his friend. But little did I know he was going to try and talk to the cameraman to let people know, try to get people to stop the show. There was people dying.
So can you talk about the atmosphere? Because I asked Ricky this question about, the sense of the atmosphere. Obviously there was some sort of weird rhythms at the very beginning, but obviously this imagery was also very spooky. Did you sense any sort of like dark sort of energy, or did it feel different to you? Because I think you said you've been to concerts before,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, so I've definitely felt just a different type of vibe to it. I didn't know what it was. I really couldn't put my finger on it. I thought maybe it was just, I hadn't been to a bigger festival in a long time. I think the most recent festival I attended was Summer Smash in Chicago, in the
Sure.
summer. But I had been to that one, so I was like, maybe it's just a newer environment. But there was definitely something that was kind of off-putting. I really couldn't, just put my finger on it. But something I just felt kind of like a negative energy almost. Like I felt like
Right.
something was coming. I just don't know what it is. I didn't know if that was maybe just excitement. I'm finally gonna see Travis Scott. That was actually my 10th time seeing Travis Scott. So,
Hmm.
I was very excited to maybe it's just excited to see him again.
So, what exactly did you witness as far as, now the tragedies, well, we had people already asking them to stop, stop the concert. Did you notice anybody like in your surroundings, people who had any medical emergencies?
So I definitely saw people bringing people outwards. There was like, she's passed out. We got to get him help. And again, I didn't think anything of it. I was just, oh, maybe they're just passed out. Maybe they've been standing in line. They didn't have enough water. They'll be fine. And then I actually, my area, it was getting pretty intense as well. There was people, hopping in mosh pits and everything.
Sure.
There was a time where a bunch of people did fall down all at once. Myself, I was kind of on the floor, but
Interesting.
it was nothing to an extreme where I was like, oh, people were helping me up. I was helping other people up. And it wasn't, stampede side. So I was like, oh, okay, nothing. It's just something it got a little intense, but everybody's helping each other out again.
Right. And talk about the times that he stopped throughout the concert, because obviously there's a lot of accounts that say that he did stop, but he did stop, but then he kept going. Talk about that time.
So the first time that I do remember him stopping was, I think it was when the ambulance was actually in the crowd.
Yes.
I believe I was just enjoying the performance. I didn't have it on my phone yet. And then I remember him saying like, whoa, whoa, like stop the music, stop the music. There's somebody in the crowd, they need to be helped. They're passing out. That was actually one time because I believe he stopped the show twice from
Okay.
my understanding. The first time was right the first part of 90210.
Yeah.
I remember that's when he was like, I don't know if he was kind of like, what the hell is that on the crowd? That's when the ambulance was there. He was kind of looking around, he's confused. Everybody else was confused. Again, when I heard ambulance, I was thinking, what is an ambulance doing in a crowd this tight? But I didn't think much of it again. And then the
Right.
second time was when I believe he was on the platform already. When he was raising up, he was, on the platform. He was raised up against this area. He had stopped once again,
Hmm.
but both of those times he wasn't stopped for a good amount of time. He was maybe stopped for, I want to say, a minute max. He was saying, you guys know what you came for. Like, we're here to rage. We're here to. This is,
So he
this
did
this is the
say
atmosphere.
he did say that you guys were there to rage then.
I remember him specifically saying, and I do have a video on my phone as well, saying like, my boys want to rage. Put a middle finger up in the sky. like my boys want to rage. And I believe that was the first time when the ambulance was actually in the crowd already.
Very interesting. Okay. So obviously he had a bird's eye view of everything, right? I mean, would you say from your perspective that he was able to view everything? He was able to, see people at different angles. Is that pretty accurate?
I would say to an extent, yes. I firmly believe that, again, he knew that people were passing out, people were getting, getting pushed and squished, but I don't think he understood the extreme of how intense it was getting.
Right.
Because again, I think that video you had just shown where he was kind of like, security, let's go in. I even was like, oh, someone else is passing out again. They're just, we got to take their time. And I mean, I get it. It's more of a less people. Maybe it's the people's first times. I was actually talking to people. Yeah, like I believe. I mean, he clearly has his eyes on that and saw what was going on. The video shows proof that he's literally looking at what that person being dragged out physically. And
right. And this is the part that he actually stopped the crowd, right? So he said, whoa, wait, and then the music kind of fades out. And
correct.
That's, and I want to be fair, I do want to be fair because this clip in particular is, my mouse is going slowly. Oh, never mind. Oh, duh. I want to be fair here because this clip is what's going around the internet, right? But there was another clip where it's like, this is what the media is going to show you versus what really happened. And so just to be fair, a little bit before this clip that people see here, he does say, wait, ho, like, let's cut the music off, help that person. Or he said, let's get that person, something like that, to, something similar. And then that's where you see this scene right here where they're passing an unconscious body. Now, this is not the only clip that was shared that shows unconscious bodies. Right here, you see, this young man right here who was unconscious as well. And this is what's so disturbing because, again, the media is just not being 100%, in my opinion. And I would actually like your opinion on this, Angel. The media is not being 100% transparent about everything that's happening. Uh-oh. We lost him. No. But meanwhile, we get Angel back on. Not sure what's going on. He just cut out, but he'll be back. I will send him another. I'll send him another thing. But, something that the media is not sharing is transparency as to these little details as to what's going on. If you guys are just joining now, what Angel did share was at the very beginning, he got there in the morning time. And there was already there was already people who were suffering from broken bones, people who were already injured. And see, that type of stuff is not what's being shared in the media. Now, I'm going to try to get him back on. Let me try to email him here and get him back onto the stream. But let's see. Yeah, link again. There we go. I actually do want to ask his perspective on the media blackout that's actually happening where, we're not actually getting a lot of information as to, what exactly happened. There are claims that there was a plastic on the floor. Angel did confirm that there was like this plastic type of wood on the floor. Now, one thing that the reason why I want to ask that, or what information I want out of that matter, is because there is testimony, for instance, from Sienna Faith. If you guys saw this particular testimony going around, she claims that there was like a sinkhole of people. And that's actually a question that I have about, that atmosphere, if that actually happened, if that was something that Angel and his friends experienced, if there was some sort of sinkhole. Now, something that was confirmed through Angel, before he dropped, hopefully he'll join back on, but something that he did confirm was that, yes, there was plastic on the floor. Yes, there was some sort of like man-made plank wood on the floor. There we go. We got him back. Add to stream. What's going on, Angel? All right, we got you back. So something that I wanted to ask you, Angel, was your perspective on the media blackout. Now, something here in Houston, I'm from Houston, I'm keeping up with the headlines, and something that I find very funny is that we're still at an 8-person count. We're still at an 8-person death toll. There were 50,000 people that were there. You confirmed it at the very beginning of your testimony. What's your perspective on this? How does that make you, what do you think? What do you think about that?
I don't think that number is accurate at all. I know that with that many people there and the amount of once I got back to my hotel and I was figuring out, because I didn't know anything was happening until I got back to my hotel.
Wow.
I
Okay.
didn't know how serious it was even then until I got back into my hotel. I did kind of feel like a difference, like something different was going on. After his performance, we actually went to go finish up, our card games. We had a couple of swipes on there, so we were going to go ahead and finish it up. And then I remember seeing just this line and line and line of ambulances. I want to say there was maybe 20 plus
Interesting.
ambulances. Yeah, I do have a video on that. It was just ambulances, and I was like, oh, again, just another Travis Scott show. It's something that happens.
Yeah. If you don't mind, could you send that to me, either before or after, I'm sorry, after the stream or whatever, because I'm very interested to see that line of ambulances. And you said you were at Astro Inn, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that's super interesting. So from your perspective, once again, you don't believe the 8-person death toll that they're touting.
No, I don't. Again, the amount of videos that I've seen, the amounts of people that I saw at the festival, there's just no way that it's only 8. I believe that they're only saying that it's 8, but there's definitely a lot more, at least injuries and deaths. I want to say there is at least, maybe 20 deaths.
Did you yourself see any unconscious bodies or unconscious people?
Yeah, I did see them getting dragged out of the crowd. I saw maybe at least 5 people getting dragged out.
Yes. And what, describe that scene? How would you describe that?
It's seeing people's faces when they were dragging them out. Maybe they were just scared for their friend. They were thinking, they hadn't drinking water. They were just trying to figure out what was going on. And that was actually, they were coming from the area where the ambulance was at. So I think that's where a lot of the majority of the trampede and the stomps and everything was going around. And then I was like, wow, that's a lot of people. Like a lot of people really can't, handle the show. And
so you saw a lot of people. You saw a lot of people being crowd surfed out.
Well,
right?
not crowd surfed. They were the people were actually having to grab by their friends, I think, over their shoulders, or kind of just barely conscious coming out of the actual. Yeah. So let me see if I can find this video for you really quickly.
Sure. So go ahead if you have a thought to share.
No, go ahead. I'm just gonna go in and find it if you want to have anything to say.
No, I'm just going to address my the followers here, guys. For those of you that are joining the stream, thank you for joining. We're trying to get answers. We had Ricky on before. He was very helpful with a map. He was very helpful with the map of the actual layout of everything. And I'm going to actually try to share that with you guys, because this was actually very, very helpful. But, there's just not a lot of transparency right now. And I think that's what really we're trying to aim for with bringing on some sort of witness accounts here. So we had one witness account before Angel. His name was Ricky. So if you guys want to come back and rewatch the stream, Ricky did have some sort of account. And then now we have Angel, who has some pretty descriptive experience being at AstroWorld concert. If you guys are just joining, he did go over some detail that, at the very beginning, there was already, injuries. There was already some hype. There was a lot of people being rowdy. So fast forward now, we're describing more of the darker side of the concert. So go ahead, Angel. It looks like you found something.
Oh no, I'm trying to send the link directly to my laptop so I can just email it to you. I'm trying to see where I can find this video.
So, so you did see a lot of unconscious. Now, I want to remind you guys that there was a ICU nurse that was unconscious and crowd surfed from her spot, and it sounds like she was in a very compressed spot of the crowd. She was unconscious, crowd surfed to a medic area, I believe, like a medic. I'm just going to call it a medic area near the VIP section. So she claims, and something that she described, which was very intense, was that, first of all, the medics didn't have a lot of experience. She was one of the most experienced medical professionals there. And while she woke up from her unconsciousness, she had a bottle of water in her lap. Her name is Madeline Eskins. And I will try my best to get her as a guest here on Unravel. And when she did wake up from her unconsciousness, she looked around and she saw a lot of unconscious people. She did check the pulses of 2 people, and they had no pulse. And she claims that those 2 people, she claims after 15 minutes, they still did not have a pulse. So my big question here is, and this is something that Angel actually also touched on, was that he really doubts the 8-person death count or death toll. And I think a lot of people really they really don't believe that, or really it just becomes questionable. It's not that we don't believe it, but it's just everything just doesn't add up. Angel, one question that I think you can answer while you're doing what you're doing is, there was a mass theory by HPD about a crazed injector, that somebody was going around injecting people with some sort of substance. Did you see anybody like that there?
No, but I will have I do have another say on that.
Sure.
When it did come to coming into security and everything, again, I had to walk down streets. I had to walk over that infamous bridge I know that everybody might know about. There was a big bridge and then a large area that you had to walk into another area. And then that's where, got the pat down, got everything. From what I can remember, and I want to, before I go on to that, I did send you those. I actually sent you 2 videos.
Okay.
One video is of ambulances that I had mentioned that there's just piling on. And then I did also send you another video of afterwards, after the fest had just ended. Travis had just finished, of just the entire area overall, how the fest was set up. And I also do think that the layouts of the festival is definitely something that needs to be talked about as well, because that was definitely something that added into the mayhem and that caused all those problems.
I'm actually let me message Ricky. Hey, can you send me a pic of your map? Because actually, Angel, he actually drew a really, really good map. And send me a pic of your map, please. Okay, so I'm going to try to get the map up. I'm actually going to upload the videos that you just sent me right now, so everybody will see. So describe these 2 videos that you sent me, so that way, whilst it uploads, we'll have a good description.
Okay. Did you want me to describe it right now?
Yeah, just there's one video, and what are each?
Okay, so one video that I actually already kind of touched on was the amounts of ambulances that I saw coming by.
Okay.
Towards the end of the Travis's set, right around when Drake came out, my phone ran out of storage, so I was actually not able to get as much footage as I wanted to. My friend, however, did have her phone with there. So after we played a couple of, finishing up those card games that we had finished up and everything, we were trying to find our way to the exit, and then I had noticed a couple of ambulances. I was like, okay, maybe 3 or 4 will pass, and then they just coming, and then they kept coming, and I told hey, you got to get a video of this. Those 2 last videos were actually my own. I was like, you got to get a video of this. This is crazy. This is not something you see every day. So there's that video with the ambulances that were up close, that I want to say it was 5 minutes before I even recording, there was still ambulances going in and in and in. And then even after I recorded, I want to say there was still coming in, but it was to the point where I was like, I don't want to and I want to go. I want to go back to my hotel. I'm tired. I didn't really stick around to see how many were exactly there, but again, I
Sure.
just minutes and minutes of seeing ambulances come by.
So I'm actually going to show a map that Ricky drew. So if you will take a look at this map here, so on the left side, there is a stage that's supposed to be the side stage. And then you see these little U-shaped little pieces here. That's supposed to be like an alley type of thing made by fences. Do you recall that?
Mm-hmm.
And then
I don't remember.
Go ahead.
I don't remember 100%. Because like I said, I was only majority of my day was waiting for merchandise, so I wasn't really. I was kind of far off in that corner. I do recall I was waiting for when I was after Little Baby had finished. I did kind of say that I did remember there was a lot of gates everywhere that didn't really need to be there. I guess there was just more. There could have been more space than they already had. But I don't 100% recall that map or that type of area that he had. I know if I look back at my videos, I'll probably remember it, but at the moment I don't.
Okay. For those of you guys that are watching this right now, this is a map, which is very weird that we don't have, some sort of like we don't have this type of visual going on in the media. But I know this is a home drawn map, okay? But he did his best. But there's supposed to be a side stage. You're actually, oh no, that's not going to work. There's supposed to be a side stage on the very left. The little U shapes are supposed to be just a little alleyway that kind of bottlenecks into the Travis Scott main stage. So I'm going to actually upload here the videos that. Cancel the videos that Angel just shared with me. I had to transform it into an MP4 because they were MOVs, technical language here. But let me see if this will upload pretty fast. So I'm going to show the videos, and I'm going to show them, Angel, and then you can tell us, what each video is of here. It shouldn't be long here, but one video I saw had a bunch of ambulance lights, and then we had an after I guess after the concert.
Yeah,
right?
It was after Travis had performed.
Okay, all right, let's take a look at this video right here. So here you All right. So how many ambulances would you say you saw?
I probably stopped counting after 10.
Wow.
Stopped counting after 10.
Okay. So you saw at least 10 ambulances. The media claims that there were 17.
Yeah, that probably could be right. It seems like a truthful number.
Okay. So I'm sorry, I'm not sure if I caught it, but there was an ambulance video, and then you said there was a video of after Travis Scott, or was it? There was two videos, no?
Yeah, so that second video where I had sent, I did a kind of like a big circle across, that was after Travis Scott. I mean, I guess both videos were after Travis Scott's. But I was walking more like towards the back of the area, like the back of the stage, and that's where that video shows of just how I kind of felt like, wow, like some crazy stuff just happened. I want to take a video, and I didn't know anything bad had happened, but I took that video for myself because like I want to remember how crazy, how much intense, how fun it was, and everything like that.
Yeah. So you'd stayed until the very end.
Yes.
At the very end, when people were clearing out, what describe the atmosphere? Did you see people still dragging unconscious bodies out? Did you describe the atmosphere once it was starting to clear out?
So once it started to clear out, I'm trying to remember exactly. I don't necessarily remember as many because my main goal there was to get to the carnival games. I wanted to finish up all my cards.
Yeah.
So I remember I was just passing by people, zooming by. I probably could have passed somebody that was, maybe even passed out or they were trying to get resuscitated, but I didn't notice because I kind of had a one set goal to get to there, do my thing, and then head out before all the crowds got, worse and got longer and everything.
Okay. So you didn't witness anybody, any lingering medical emergencies upon your way out.
From my memory as of right now, no, I do not.
Okay. But definitely you did witness throughout the concert that there was definitely multiple medical emergencies, not just, I mean, it was just going on pretty consistently, yeah?
Yep. Yeah, I definitely saw people, getting dragged out. I saw people asking they wanted to get by. I saw people that were just I even saw the look on some people's faces. They're just kind of in that shocked face where like this is really intense. But then again, I was just kind of like, this is how his shows are. This is if this is your first time, I get it, but this is just how his shows are. I didn't really think much of it. I was like, they're fine. They're just getting really squished. They'll be fine after, things turn to slow down and everything. I didn't realize how extreme it got and how extreme it was more in the front until after I started reading up what was going on.
Got it. Okay. Well, Angel, I think you kind of, you gave a lot of your testimony. Is there anything else, before we close that you might have remembered that you didn't say, or maybe something that's jogging your memory? If not, what are some closing thoughts if, there aren't anything, any afterthoughts over your testimony?
I can definitely say that one thing that I think you were kind of talking about it when I had just gotten disconnected. The girl that's where she was, I think she had woken up and I think she was surrounded by people. If I remember, I think I
Right.
read that post as well.
Yes.
And nobody knew what they were doing.
Yes.
That one thing I wanted to kind of add on to that is that I myself, I mean, I know how to properly. I'm CPR certified, AED certified. I work in the health field. I know what would be necessary. I think she was saying there is no supplies. There is maybe one AED for several people. That alone is just for the medic people or the security to not know how to perform basic CPR was definitely a part of the problem. There's the amount of injuries prevented from
Yes.
and not even just that security that was there in general. Again, security in the merchandise line they had no idea what they were doing. They were very rowdy with the fans, very rowdy with the crowd. I saw them get into it. The only difference really was that they had the vest that said security. I saw people getting thrown by security over the fences.
Sure.
Not even in because they were passing out. It was more or less just they were being rude. I'm security, you have to listen to me.
Right.
But I know kind of like a closing act that I can add on for my own 2 cents is, again, I told you how close I was to the fest grounds. I was up until 4:30 a.m. just trying to figure out what was going on, trying to get as much information. Sirens were going off consistently. I kept hearing sirens. You could just see ambulances going in from the stadium entrances, both entrances, coming out of the entrances. I believe that, more and more ambulances, more and more police, firemen. There was more people coming in hours after Travis had just even finished his set.
Wow. Okay. So I think with that, there's still a lot of mystery. There's still a lot to discover. So, guys, I do have two other, I believe at least one tomorrow that has agreed to come on. So all we can do right now is corroborate these events with witness testimonies. Angel, thank you so much for coming on and describing what you saw and, giving us your time as well as the media. Thank you again. And, I hope you take care. And, what are your thoughts from here going forward as far as concerts?
I mean, I do have another concert lined up. Again, I told you I'm a concert junkie. I love going to concerts. I've been to dozens of concerts. I mean, my mindset is a little bit iffy when it comes to concerts now. Even listening to Travis's music at this moment, I sort of feel some sort of guilt, knowing that people passed listening to that music. So it's very, very eerie. I'm just going to be kind of taking care of, just myself about what I just experienced and everything. Nothing, I've never experienced anything like that.
Sure. Well, take care out there, Angel. Please be vigilant. And definitely, just watch your surroundings. And now taking this experience, this is very scary. So, just be careful out there and, be safe and take care of others that are with you. So we really appreciate. Thank you so much for your testimony.
Of course. Have a good one.
You too. Thank you, Angel. Awesome, guys. Okay, so we had 2 people come on. I just planned Ricky, but Angel actually decided that he could actually come on tonight. Tomorrow I have, I believe, at least 2 more. No, it's at least 1 person who has agreed to come on. I'm going to go ahead and confirm that with him. But stick around. I will make a flyer if that is so. I appreciate you guys. Be sure to hit that like on the way out, as well as subscribe if you have not already. We do podcasts for different personalities, and there is a nightly news podcast. So if you guys are interested in headlines that you won't hear about, this is a place as well. So anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in with Nightly with Natalie, a segment of Unravel with Natalie Denise. I will catch you guys tomorrow, and hopefully we'll have another AstroWorld witness come forward to give his account of what happened. You guys take care and have a blessed night. Sleep easy. I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Unravel with Natalie Denise. Please give this podcast 5 stars.